Right then, hello and welcome to today's video. So hopefully, I'm having some camera troubles, you know. Just never focuses on my old face. So it's a Wednesday and I thought I would take you through my day, my life, and what I'm getting up to. So I always get out and do some steps in the morning because being an online coach, you don't actually... Seagulls are mugging me off here. You don't actually get any steps done if you don't go out and get them. So I aim to go out around 7 o'clock in the morning, rain or shine, get the steps done, and then I go home, normally eat, do some work, and then crack on with the day. So if you're new around here, like, comment, subscribe. Quite consistent with the uploads at the moment, so you can join in with the fun. There's going to be updates on what I'm doing, what I'm training, how the deload's going, and some little nuggets of information along the way. Peace. So you will have seen my morning stack of supplements that I take, and what are they? So I've got vitamin D3, sunlight vitamin, obviously so important at the moment. Like, there's absolutely no sunlight and I'm out walking around, so we need to supplement with that. I'd recommend way over the recommended dose. Don't go for just 1 pill a day. I don't think it's going to be enough. The research suggests like anywhere between like 1,000 IU and 6,000. 6,000 would probably be pushing it. However, when was the last time like you actually took your top off and had any sun, especially like with not being able to go away on holiday and stuff? So I'd be looking at bumping those numbers up. We've got fish oils in there, especially during winter again, like especially in the Western diet, you're not going to be eating that much fish, you know. As much as you think your diet's healthy, you're not going to be smashing salmon every day like you need to be getting all those vitamins. So get a supplement in. Again, I'd be taking probably 5-6 of those tabs a day, but make sure they have a good serving and a good amount of DHA and EPA, I think it is. They are kind of nutrients that we need within our fish oils, otherwise we're kind of supplementing with pretty shit fish oils. Likewise, with the vitamin D, you need to make sure, why is it never focus? I hate this camera. What you need to make sure is that you have your vitamin D3 with dietary fat, okay? If you don't have it with dietary fat, we probably aren't going to absorb any of it. And considering you're paying money for it and you're supplementing with it to be able to absorb it, what's the point? Then I've got vitamin C because I'm feeling a little bit coldy. I actually went into a pub the other day. I didn't drink, but I went in with some friends, probably picked up a little bit of a cold. So supplement with that. If we supplement with vitamin C at the start of a cold, it has been shown to reduce the longevity of the cold by around 8%. So that's always a win. That's probably supplementing with around like 1,000 milligrams, a few multiple points across the day. And then what else do I have? Magnesium, just to help me relax because I'm obviously on a deload. And then what else? Zinc, which I take in the evenings, just for kind of immune health and general life. But other than that, that's the supplements I take. There's some more supplements that I take kind of for sports performance, but they're the general ones for quote unquote health, so use them if you want to. So just speaking on my Instagram, like I go out every morning without a dog because life's happened now and I don't have a dog, and people must think I'm so weird. I've got a camera, I'm just dressed in full North Face, I look like a bit of a youth. Like, look at me. Like, I feel like George Osborne, just in the woods. But I must look like, because I've got my camera as well, so people must think like, oh, he's going to take a picture of your house and then rob it. That's me, okay? So yeah, I'm just going to get these steps off now because I'm just talking, I'm just waffling, as people would say, and then I'll show you the rest of the day. So, as I said, I'm currently on a deload, so that is what it is. I needed some time off following my prep, because the last time I deloaded was when I was in Ibiza. If you watched that video, I'll put it up here. So probably wasn't the most like optimal deload because I was pretty stressed, obviously because of my IBS and stuff like that. But this is going to be my first deload, so I've taken the first 2 days of the week completely off. No cardio, just done steps organically, so I didn't necessarily like go out and do them. I was just kind of visiting baths, so it made sense to go for walks and stuff, so I just did steps. Today's going to be my first deload session or de-volume session, so that's going to be an upper body session. So I'll take you through that with me. Probably not going to make this a training video though, because the last few have been training based. But I'm just getting ready for my like quote-unquote pre-workout meal now, which is still oats, and I'm using a whey isolate just to make some protein oats. Digestion's good with oats. I'm still quite hungry, so that's why oats are still in. And I still like them. Like, I haven't necessarily got sick of them yet. Because when you perfect the recipe, why change it, okay? If you like something, don't change it. So let's have a look. So obviously got my bowl. I weigh everything, as you should probably too as well if you're trying to grow muscle. So I'll get the oats ready now, weigh, all the good stuff. See you in a bit. Right, that is one of the deload sessions done. Not gonna lie, I hate deloads. I honestly feel like I still get stuck in that kind of child mindset of I don't need to do this. Like it's just time not progressing. However, I definitely need it because I feel absolutely pummeled. So basically did an upper body session. And that just entailed kind of a mixture of my push and pull days, both rotations kind of put into one. You'll see some clips. I didn't want to film all of it because it's boring. About 3 reps in reserve. Just get a little bit of a pump and then kind of go, really. Now it's time to go home, eat, and then do some client work. Ready for January, really. Start working towards kind of the January kind of marketing and so on and so forth. So, let's go. I'm pretty hungry actually. Shock. I'm always fucking hungry, aren't I? So, yeah. Oi! Right then. Can you see me? What's going on here? Camera's not working again. Classic. Right. So, just having a break from work. So, been putting in some kind of work and some advertising and some client work. But now I'm cooking up, as you've just seen, some pumpkin seeds. So I use a seed medley as well as pumpkin seeds. I always toast them. I like dry fry them in a pan, obviously. and they just add like a really decent dimension to my yogurt meals when I have them, and they taste pretty kind of festive and autumny. So try it. They have tons of health benefits relating to kind of unsaturated fats, and digestive kind of gut microbiome improvements, if that's even a word, or a sentence that makes sense. Well done, Alex. But there's another little tip. Hello. Right, so I thought I'd do a little sit down segment for this video, because there's a few things I need to like talk about. Obviously, I've spoken about it briefly in some of my videos about kind of struggling with digestive issues, and I've never really spoken about it on the channel. So recently, I kind of got diagnosed by a doctor with IBS. So that's known as irritable bowel syndrome for anyone who's never heard of it. It's pretty common, and we kind of, well, I actually mean me. I've kind of pinpointed it to developing during prep, okay? Obviously prep was quite severe. I lost quite a bit of weight, and obviously prep is one of those things that is never going to be the healthiest thing, because we know that getting that lean is not that healthy overall. So what I found was I was eating very little food, obviously, and I was eating very poor variety of food, because the structure helped me hit my calories and my macronutrients. And then obviously the show came, did all right. I enjoyed the process. I went out for some food afterwards, and that's when I first started kind of noticing that things weren't potentially right with my stomach. But of course, like, after a show, you will always get bloated when you go out for that meal. I didn't go overboard. All I had was a Thai meal, which was like lean meats and vegetables, most of it. Yes, it was high in sodium, but it wasn't kind of like, I didn't go and eat like 10 Ben & Jerry's in a Domino's. So the minute I ate that meal, the bloating was horrendous. So I had stomach cramps, extreme bloating, water retention everywhere, like my legs looked like the Elephant Man, or they looked like kind of, you know, when your grand's legs are all like swollen, that's what they look like. And then that's where I started to kind of worry about things, because it would start going down after a 24-hour period, but mine didn't. And mine kind of just sat with me for like 3 days. And I'd made the decision that I was going to go on holiday, like 2 days after my show. So I flew on holiday like I wasn't in a good way at all. Like, I was still retaining water, still bloated, still reacting to foods. And the main issue with this was that I couldn't actually increase my calories as high as I needed to get me into the recovery phase of my diet following the show, because every time I ate kind of more food, I just reacted badly, because I didn't know what was happening, okay? At the time, I wasn't aware of like, these foods do this to me and so on and so forth. So I was just eating like I normally would, but I was getting these severe reactions, stomach cramps, sickness, bloating and so on. So flew to Ibiza, had a great time with my friends, but I couldn't eat any of the meals out. I literally spent my whole time in a supermarket, Spanish supermarket, so a Roski or a Spar, buying literally chicken breast, vegetables and salads and oats. And that was a bit of shit. I'm not gonna lie, like, I paid all this money to go on holiday to somewhere I love, and I couldn't enjoy it with my friends. I did enjoy it still, but obviously food was a huge aspect of it, the social occasion and stuff, so I missed out on that a little bit. So then I flew home, was still getting the issues, and wasn't necessarily in the best place due to other things in my life I'm not going to talk about on here, but that definitely impacted it, because from my research on IBS, it's not necessarily like one condition. IBS is just a general term used for kind of some issue with digestion. And there's a lot of kind of research and there's a strong argument towards it being very psychologically based. So if you're super stressed, if you have a high stress period or a life event, you can trigger IBS. So bear in mind, I'd had prep, which was a stressful life event, and then I had these kind of life stressors afterwards. I think that just compounded the issue. And then because I was worrying that I was so ruined from prep, and I knew that I needed to eat more to get better or feel better, but I couldn't eat more, it was a bit of a head fuck for me, not gonna lie. So fast forward kind of 2 weeks, back and forth with doctors. They did give me some medication. Not gonna lie, I didn't take the medication for long. It didn't help at all. And it made me feel a bit weird, not gonna lie. So I ditched the medication. And what I decided to do was I decided to follow a low FODMAP diet. So low FODMAP is like a severe dietary intervention that the people with digestive issues can use to pinpoint foods that are causing them digestive issues. And in the low FODMAP diet, like I spoke about in my nutrition video, is like you remove all fermentable carbohydrates from your diet, or try and limit them as much as you can. So I went on the low FODMAP, and things cleared up. Like lo and behold, like you're not eating much variety. Okay, you're eating very bland foods, like no onions, garlic and stuff like that. But from that period, I realized that you start to then reintroduce foods, and then you almost are watching to see if the reaction happens. And if the reaction happens, you know that food is now a trigger food and you potentially need to cut it out of your diet or limit it for a time being. So from that period, I know that my main trigger foods are onions, garlics, and anything in that family, such as like leeks, celery. I think they're all in the same family. And so from then on, I have not been eating those. And to tell you the truth, I have kept most of my diet very rigid and strict. I am pretty much still following a meal plan, and I could probably tell you what my day looks like. So let's tell you what a training day looks like. Okay, so for my training day, I would do work in the mornings, go for a walk, do all the usual stuff, and then my first meal would be a pre-workout meal. So that would be oats and whey isolate, because it is lactose free, because it is an isolate, with 100 grams of raspberries. That is my pre-workout. I then go and train. I would then come back. I would have 100 grams of oats again, with 15 grams of whey, 100 grams of chicken, and like a salad, a mixed salad, with cucumber and potentially some more salad vegetables like tomatoes. I would then kind of do another work block, and then I would have another meal, which would be 2 whole eggs, 2 bacon medallions, so that's the lean medallions, around 300-400 grams of mushrooms, and again some tomatoes in there, because I'm really trying to ramp up my fruit and vegetables at the moment, just so I can kind of make sure I'm in a good place with my nutrition and my gut, basically. So that's that meal. I'd eat that around 3, half 3. My next meal would be my kind of dinner meal, where I sit down and have kind of either 120 grams of lean mince, or 125 grams, 150 grams of chicken, depending on how much protein I need to get for the rest of that day. Then I would be having around 400 grams of potato. That can be sweet potato or white potato, based on how I feel. I know, absolutely wild. Then I'll be having kind of Brussels sprouts with that, and any other green veg that I fancy, so spinach, green beans, asparagus, other stuff like that, just to kind of get the macros up for the day. And then I'd wait probably 2-3 hours, so around 8:30, 8:45, I'd be having my last meal, which would be probably my favourite meal of the day, which is going to be 500 grams of 0% fire yogurt, 200 grams of frozen raspberries, 200 grams of blueberries and strawberry frozen, 15 grams of high fibre bran, just to increase my fibre content a little bit. Not that it needs it with all the vegetables I'm eating, but I just like to keep it as high as possible at the moment. 15 to 20 grams of roasted pumpkin seeds that you've seen me cook in the previous kind of clips. 15 grams of sultanas, and then 30 grams of almond butter, so coconut almond butter. I also forgot to say that in my pre-workout meal, I'd be having 2 squares of dark chocolate, which would help me increase my fats overall. So that's how that's what I literally follow to make sure that I have no digestive issues from what I've pinpointed from my unique situation. And am I loving it? Yes, I do. I like the routine, and you've got to play the cards that you're dealt. And I've been dealt these cards, and I can either kind of just moan about it, and I've done my fair share of moaning, like, trust me. But now it's time to kind of, this series is the reclamation. Like, I'm taking back control of things, and this is one of those things. Like, if you have issues like this, you hold the control. You choose what you put in your mouth, no one else. So take control of that. And take agency. You have complete agency in your life, so impact things as best you can. I don't want this to limit me forever, so I am going all in on trying to fix it, okay? So if anyone has any kind of problems with IBS, not that I know anything about it, I just know my experience. Of course, like, go and see your doctor, like, they do know a lot more than me, but I would just go on the low FOD map, decide that, pinpoint the foods that don't work with you, cut them out, keep foods in that are good for you, scale up those foods if you need to gain weight. But yeah, that's me kind of touching on one of the issues. And if you've got this far and you like the video, you know what to do. Stay tuned, because there's going to be more content, more videos, more podcasts. If you haven't checked the podcasts on the channel, check them out. We're on Spotify, we're on Apple Podcasts, so get on them. But other than that, thank you for watching the video. I tried to go down a little bit more then, but I can't. Thanks for watching the video. And yeah, see you in the next one.